Welcome to the Vitcha Dark Souls 2 guide. At any point you can click on the icon on the right hand side of the screen to be linked to other Dark Souls 2 related guides. In this video we're going to take a look at how to farm souls indefinitely from 2 renewable sources that never deplete. Each farming area is in very close proximity to one another and both are near a fairly simple boss fight. This makes it easy to rack up thousands of souls in between boss kills in co-op. With this method you should be able to average roughly 100,000 souls every 10 to 15 minutes. So let's get started. For the video I have cleared the enemies leading to the farming area to make it easier to show, but this is the route you're going to take. Starting from the Undead Crypt, which is roughly a little over halfway through the game, go to the bonfire titled Undead Ditch. From this bonfire head directly out of the room and into the back right corner to a ladder. Proceed up the ladder and then drop down to the room below and head up the stairs. On the left-hand side of this room there is a hallway. Head down the hallway until you find a pit. After falling into the pit, exit through the passage in the very left-hand corner of the room. Before exiting, you may encounter an undead prisoner near where you dropped into the room. We'll talk about his significance in a moment. But if you do encounter the prisoner, ignore the enemy and head down the hallway that looks as though it has a rail track carved into the floor. This is the exit. Once reaching the end of this hallway, turn left, go up the short staircase, and then hit the switch on your right. This switch will lift a platform which creates a shortcut leading to the bonfire we started at. Now that the shortcut has been established, the infinite soul farming section of the guide can begin. From this point on, I suggest equipping any gear that increases the amount of souls you receive. After changing some gear, return to where you flipped the switch to lift the platform. From this point there are 2 routes you can take with infinite souls to farm, straight ahead or back down the hallway with the rail. Either way, this intersection is a great place to lay down your white soap sign as it is directly before a boss. Let's start with farming the area to the right. But before we get started, let's talk about how the farming operations work exactly. First, the undead prisoner that I mentioned earlier is a key component to the process. He will ring a bell which summons Lady Pyromancer phantoms. These summons spawn from large square headstones. It's extremely vital that you don't destroy these ornate headstones with figures carved into them. After 3 to 4 heavy hits, the headstones will be destroyed permanently, and the phantoms will no longer appear when the bell is rang. So if you're using melee combat, be careful not to strike the headstones while farming. On a final note regarding the process, it's a good thing to know that after the bell is rang, the zombie-like undead prisoner will come after you. They can be killed without fear of losing your supply of enemies to farm. Even if killed, the zombies will continue to spawn repeatedly with the goal of ringing the bell to constantly call upon new groups of phantoms. As for the actual farming itself, I found it best to farm this room on the edge of the hallway with a ranged attack. The hallway leading to the main room acts as a safe zone of sorts where the stronger Lady Pyromancer phantoms will not follow. This is a good place to retreat to if your health is getting low to consume a life gem or to take a swig of Estus. Also, the bonfire is just around the corner to replenish your spell charges. This area can be farmed with melee abilities, but it's definitely more difficult and a bit of a pain to constantly be mindful of not striking the ornate headstones. Alright, let's take a look at the second area to farm. This area does not have a hallway to act as a safe zone, but the upside is that you're in control of when to ring the bell in this section, and there's no risk of destroying headstones in the process. I'd say this is the more favorable of the 2 locations for melee-oriented characters. For this section, when entering the large hallway there will be no phantoms, but soon enough a bell will ring summoning 4 phantoms in the process. The objective here is to turn around after descending the staircase and proceed to a small room under the stairs. In the room there is an undead prisoner that will constantly ring the bell to summon phantoms. If you kill the undead prisoner, you can choose when the bell is struck to trigger when phantoms are summoned. He will not respawn to ring the bell like the other farming location. This makes the process much easier to manage as to never be overrun by sporadic summons, but this method does feel as though the back and forth makes it slower, yet much less risky in the process of farming. Alright guys, I hope this video helped, and please don't hesitate to check out my other Dark Souls 2 content. I'll see you around.